Meghan, who is, in my opinion, a narcissist, is driving him insane.
He's in an abusive relationship.
Absolutely.
This is just astonishing, isn't it? Because we saw Harry's very public takedown of Meghan on the podcast last week, scolding her in front of the world for daring to post
completely fed up of being paraded around.
And then the internet stopped. Millions stared in disbelief as an unexpected clip began circulating across social media, a shaky but shockingly intimate glimpse inside the Montecito mansion the world had only ever imagined. In the video, Prince Harry sits barefoot on a plush beige sofa, casually scrolling through his phone. He looks relaxed, even unguarded, until Meghan Markle bursts into the frame, laughing loudly with a friend. She's holding a glass of wine, teasing him for never watching the Dodgers with her, joking that he's such a Brit even after all these years. It's lighthearted silly, even. But within hours, it became a royal scandal. Because the footage wasn't for a documentary. It wasn't a behind-the-scenes moment. It was home security camera footage. And according to sources close to the Duke, it was released without his permission.
Some doing. But this is Meghan Markle's sickest stunt yet.
Within minutes, the hashtags exploded. Hashtag Harry didn't know. Hashtag Montecito meltdown. Hashtag privacy for Meghan but not for him. Across TikTok, X, and YouTube, the clip racked up millions of views, and one thing became painfully clear: Harry was furious. He had no idea the footage existed, let alone that it had been edited and shared. An insider told the Daily Mirror, "He feels completely blindsided, betrayed. He thought their home was the one place he could be himself. Off camera, off duty, off the record."
For Prince Harry in Canada.
For a man who spent years railing against the press for invading his privacy, the irony was brutal. This time, it wasn't paparazzi crossing his boundaries, it was his own wife. Behind closed doors, sources described a full-blown argument that rattled the Montecito mansion. "He snapped," said one confidant. He told her she'd crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. He asked how she could use their home, his last sanctuary, as a PR set piece. According to reports, Meghan tried to diffuse the tension, insisting the clip was harmless and sweet. She reportedly told him, "It shows the real us, the happy US. People need to see that side of our life." But for Prince Harry, it wasn't about optics. It was about trust. He walked away from the royal family to escape the constant cameras, the endless scrutiny, the feeling that every moment was being documented for someone else's narrative. Now, in California, that same feeling was creeping back, and this time, it wasn't the tabloids. It was personal, and the fallout was immediate.
Had to go, she had to set the camera up, she had to do the whole thing.
Royal commentators pounced. Piers Morgan called it proof that Meghan Markle sees everything, including her husband, as content. Megyn Kelly said it felt exploitative, like Prince Harry was just a supporting character in Meghan's personal reality show. Even Hollywood publicists whispered that the Duchess had finally overplayed her hand. What made it worse was the timing. The footage dropped the same week as Prince William's major Earthshot event, sparking allegations that Meghan had strategically released the video to steal the spotlight. "It's not a coincidence," said one royal watcher. "Every time William or Catherine are front and center, Meghan seems to find a way to make headlines. It's like she can't help herself." But this time, the strategy backfired. Instead of boosting her image as relatable Meghan, the move reignited a narrative she had spent years trying to bury: the manipulative, attention-hungry Duchess who couldn't resist turning private moments into public drama. And Harry? He was unraveling.
Looks like a moron sitting at a Dodgers stadium.
Paparazzi photos showed Prince Harry days later looking drained, eyes hidden behind dark sunglasses, jaw clenched. The man who once radiated ease now appeared haunted. Friends said he'd gone quiet, skipping meetings, avoiding calls, and retreating into isolation. "He's not okay," a longtime friend confided. "It's not just about the video. It's about what it represents." He's realizing he doesn't control the narrative anymore, not even the one about his own life. As the headlines intensified, Meghan's team went into damage control. A spokesperson called the clip a lighthearted personal moment and a celebration of home and happiness. They denied that any privacy lines were crossed, insisting Harry had been fully aware of the cameras. But insiders told a different story. He knew there were cameras for security, not for social media, said one source. The idea that she could take that footage and turn it into a PR reel, that's not what he signed up for. The situation became even more explosive when it was revealed that Meghan had reportedly sent the video to several media outlets herself, along with a note describing it as a glimpse of real love, real laughter, and real life. In other words, it wasn't leaked. It was launched. And that changed everything.
Remain the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
The palace, though silent publicly, was reportedly deeply disturbed. Courtiers whispered that the move only validated their long-standing concerns about the Sussexes' judgment when it came to privacy and the media. The late Queen Elizabeth II had always warned that they couldn't have it both ways. As one insider reminded the press, you can't demand privacy while broadcasting your personal moments. That's not protection, that's performance. Meanwhile, Hollywood circles began whispering about cracks in the Montecito fairy tale. Powerful PR insiders, the same people who once courted Meghan Markle for high-profile projects, now privately questioned whether her brand had become toxic. One producer put it bluntly, you can't market authenticity when your husband looks like a hostage. Across social media, the footage that was meant to humanize her did the opposite. Clips were dissected in slow motion. Analysts pointed out how Prince Harry barely smiled, how he looked away as she spoke, how his laugh seemed forced. Online psychologists examined his body language, calling it classic discomfort, a sign of suppressed frustration, a man performing happiness rather than living it. And through it all, Meghan remained silent. Publicly, at least.
In a casual interview, Prince Harry stated he currently lives in the United States, and palace insiders tell Shooter Scoop that phrasing was neither accidental nor innocent.
Privately, sources say Meghan Markle felt blindsided by the backlash. She believed the clip would warm public opinion, not ignite a storm. She was said to be heartbroken that Prince Harry didn't see the gesture as love, but as betrayal. But for Harry, this wasn't just another headline. It was the breaking point. After 5 years of living under what he once described as a microscope built by my own family, he now found himself inside a glass house of his own making. Only this time, the person holding the camera wasn't the British press, it was his wife. And that realization, insiders say, broke something inside him. Harry stopped appearing in her videos. He pulled back from her podcast plans. He began spending more time in London under the guise of charity work, but privately, everyone knew he was searching for something he'd lost along the way: peace. Meanwhile, the clip refused to die. It became a meme, a talking point, a symbol of everything fractured between them. Commentators joked that Netflix didn't need to renew the Sussexes, they just needed access to the Montecito security system. By the time Meghan attempted to defend herself in a follow-up interview, insisting the moment was shared out of joy, not strategy, the damage was done. Because joy doesn't look like that, and Harry's face had told the world everything it needed to know. The fallout was instant and brutal. Within hours, every tabloid, gossip site, and streaming news outlet replayed the footage frame by frame, adding dramatic voiceovers. Headlines screamed, Prince Harry trapped in Duchess's home PR nightmare. Montecito meltdown. Privacy betrayed. Meghan's move leaves Harry furious. Across social media, the fire was even hotter. TikTok users edited memes of Harry ducking behind couches. Twitter threads dissected every second of the video, debating whether he looked uncomfortable or completely defeated. Harry had become the unwilling star of a viral storm he never agreed to be part of. Insiders say the intensity pushed him to act. He realized he couldn't sit back and hope it would blow over. In a private meeting with his legal and PR teams, Harry demanded full control over all content featuring him inside the Montecito home, including the controversial security footage. He reportedly threatened legal action if any of it was released without his direct approval. "This wasn't about one video," said a close confidant. "This was about his life, his privacy, his sanity." He drew a line, and this time, he wasn't letting it be crossed. But the confrontation with Meghan marked a turning point. Word of rising tensions leaked, and whispers about cracks in their marriage spread like wildfire. Some insiders claimed Harry had spent nights alone in London under the guise of charity events just to escape the mounting pressure at home. Meanwhile, Meghan's carefully curated media empire began to wobble. Projects once considered guaranteed hits, podcasts, lifestyle campaigns, brand collaborations, were suddenly under review. PR executives worried her judgment had slipped into high-risk territory. "When your brand relies on control and authenticity," said one Hollywood insider, "and the footage suggests the opposite, it creates a perfect storm." Even Meghan's allies hesitated to defend her publicly. The optics were too risky. The video had weaponized Harry's discomfort against her, turning private moments into public ammunition. Amid the chaos, Harry began strategizing his own comeback, one that prioritized his autonomy over the couple's joint brand. Sources say he met with advisors to consider several steps, limiting appearances in Meghan-led projects, reclaiming control over social media and content distribution, and publicly clarifying his stance on privacy without attacking her directly. "He's done being reactive," a confidant said. "This is Harry saying my life, my rules." At the same time, the palace quietly monitored the situation. Insiders noted that courtiers were worried, not just about the footage, but about what it symbolized, a Sussex crisis that could once again spiral into a global media storm. Back in Montecito, Meghan reportedly felt the pressure. Staff whispered about her late-night strategy sessions as she tried to reframe the footage as authentic family joy. But insiders said it was too little, too late. She thought the public would see the love, not the tension, one former aide revealed. But the optics betrayed her. The storm intensified when a rival influencer leaked a brief audio clip of Harry privately admitting he felt cornered and overwhelmed. Hashtags like #HarryOverIt and #DuchessDrama trended worldwide. The clip painted Harry as a sympathetic figure, a narrative that threatened to overshadow Meghan's carefully built persona. Suddenly, Meghan's media-friendly friends began distancing themselves, wary of collateral damage. "It's a reputation minefield," one PR executive warned. "You're either with Harry's narrative or Meghan's, and right now, Harry has the sympathy advantage." Caught in the middle, Harry made a bold decision. He would publicly reassert control over his own story. He limited appearances in projects Meghan controlled and granted exclusive interviews to trusted journalists, offering candid but calculated insights into his life. For the first time in years, he wasn't just a husband in a global media spectacle. He was his own man again. Meanwhile, Meghan's empire continued to crack. Streaming partners delayed releases. Branding teams paused campaigns. Lifestyle collaborators quietly renegotiated contracts. A leaked message from an associate even claimed Meghan had said, "If Harry won't play along, nothing else matters." Observers questioned the future of their projects. Would the podcast continue? Would their lifestyle ventures survive? And most importantly, could the Sussex brand endure without unity? While Meghan fought to regain control of the narrative, Harry's moves were already reshaping it. By reclaiming his public image, he not only protected himself, he forced Meghan to reconsider her entire strategy. "This isn't a PR battle," said a Hollywood insider. "It's about trust, power, and who gets to write the story." As the sun set over Montecito, one thing was clear. Harry was no longer a supporting character in her show. The world watched. The tabloids screamed. Social media exploded. And in the middle of it all, Harry, once reactive and cornered, was finally calling his own shots.